with everything going on, I want to make sure we're unmuted, right? Okay. It's been crazy. Some of you have been experienced audits. Some of you are going through them right now. Some of you will be going through them. Obviously, with COVID happening, it has pressed us into remote auditing. But in all honesty, we were kind of sort of going towards that way. We had lots of things already in the works to be able to do this auditing remotely. But we just kind of wanted to talk about it, give you guys some information on it, and kind of go from there. So what does this mean? So remote auditing, my sticky's in the way. What this means is 85 to 90% of the work is going to be done off-site, okay? So one thing we've learned through this is the importance of using technology to communicate and to transmit information. So to do that, I'm sorry, okay, so we kind of already started some of it with the monthly uploads that you guys do. We already had some technology and we had some procedures in place to be able to do some of this work off-site. If you remember, again, those annual and monthly uploads, that's kind of the primary reason for those, so we have those ahead of time. And again, some of you have experienced this type of audit, and we have found that it actually works pretty well. Pretty slow today.
That's not right,
Yep, my arm just fell there. Okay, so the audit will still begin with communication from the field examiners after they're assigned the audit. Okay, so they are required. There's going to be required forms that need to be completed. If you kind of remember, we did discuss this last year. We talked about the Form 7, the Form 9, the Form 45 at the fall conference. These forms are sent to the auditor, all right, since they're the fiscal officer for the county, but they still should be reaching out to you to help complete the internal controls portion for the treasurer's office, okay? So having these completed and ready for the auditor, and I say auditor, for the field examiner, when they arrive, does help reduce the time that we need to complete the audit. When we reduce our time, it in turn saves the county money, okay? So once completed, you're going to hold on to the document until the field examiner arrives. If you receive these documents and have questions, you can call us if you need to. You can call Lori and I, or you can contact your field staff, okay? Your field examiners who are on site or their audit manager. You may also wish to watch, we have a YouTube channel. We're going to go over that a little bit later, but there is something, we do have video in there about filling out these forms. So if you've got any questions, you can try and check that out as well. But please don't wait until you're contacted by your field examiner to complete these forms. Again, we want to have them completed before we're on site, if at all possible. It really does speed up the audit process, okay? These forms aren't fun. These forms are long. We understand that. Once you fill out, and you guys have already been filling these out for a few years now, really it's just taking it and reviewing it. Is that still how we're doing things? Did we add a process? Did we get rid of something? So it's really just an updating of the form. So again, our field examiners are working remotely 85 to 90% of the time. This means they're working from their homes, okay? The main communication you'll receive from them is going to be via email or phone. This includes the entrance conference and the exit conferences. We do have other technology available, such as Microsoft Teams, which is really primarily what we use to communicate with each other. We now have that capability to reach out to you and to do meetings that way as well. It seems to be fairly user-friendly. To be honest, I like it a little bit better in this format. But we also have Webex, which is what you're using now, just a different side of Webex, okay? So that would allow us to hold video conferences. Please don't hesitate to ask any of our field examiners for a video conference. They'll be happy to do that, okay? But if you don't have the technology, we can do a phone call as well, all right? So we're going to work with you on that. When our field examiners first make contact with you via the email or a phone, we need you to discuss your COVID-19 protocol. What's going on there? Example, is your building closed completely? Is no one allowed in, including employees? Is the building only open to employees? Is the treasurer's office only open so many number of days? Keep them updated as protocols change, all right, because we want to be very respectful of the protocols that you've put in place in your county. All right. So while being in person is how we are used to getting information, COVID-19, again, has really made us have to make some adjustments. Phone calls are still very much being utilized. We also now have, again, the capability of doing video conferencing. So the field examiner is going to talk to you about what capabilities you have through your county to make video calling a part of the audit, all right? To be able to utilize a video call, the laptop or computer will work best if there's a microphone and a camera. In this case, you don't need those two things because we can't see you and we can't hear you here. You're just really participating kind of as a watcher. But in those conferences, we need you to engage. So if you want to do that kind of conference, really a microphone and a camera is really kind of needed. If you don't have it, that's fine. We can do other ways of communicating. It also depends on what your comfort level is. Okay, so if you've not done video conferencing before, you can work with our field examiners. They can, show you how it's done, to maybe give you a little bit more of a comfort level. Or if you just say, I don't want to do it, fine, we'll work with you. Okay, we are still visiting audit sites, so just because we're doing remote auditing doesn't mean you won't ever see us. We are still there, but it's in a limited fashion. The in-person visits are mostly reserved for on-site testing. Okay, so if they're going to do a receipts test, for example, and they pull their sample, they may communicate that with you. All right, and then come in and then do looking at the physical receipts, just deposit slips, things like that.
I have questions
on
the entrance. Does the field examiner only email the auditor? Apparently we are in the audit process. I had no idea. And a second one, similar to that, can the treasurer's office be included in the initial contact from SCOA so we know that the audit is going to occur? We are never made aware by our auditor until the day you're coming.
Okay. Honestly, when we are assigned an audit, the first point of contact is going to be the auditor. They are the fiscal officer. They're the ones that we give the forms. They're the ones that submit the financial statements, and we leave it up to them to find us a place to work prior to all of this, okay? So that was always our first point of contact. At some point, you should be made aware that they're there. We always try to suggest to the field that when they come in or they actually begin the audit to reach out, not just to you guys, but also to other departments like the clerk's office or the sheriff's if we're going to be over there. Just an email saying, hey, just to let you know we're here. Again, each, field examiner kind of does things their own way, but you are, like the auditors, you guys are two halves of the same coin. So there should be some sort of communication. Can you be included in the entrance? Yes, absolutely. If you want to be included in that, just, talk to the field staff, the field examiners, sorry. I'm trying to make sure that we keep that to the field examiners or to your auditor. But just, there should be some sort of communication. You should know that they're there. Does that answer it?
There's some more that have come in. So they are finishing hours now, and they were wanting all of the information while we were shut down. We never had notification until it was time for them to need the information from us. Marshall County, we were never aware until the day the field examiner shows up. Could you include instructions to inform all field examiners, I assume, when contacting the auditor?
Are we talking about not showing up like the very first day or like testing?
It said until the day the field examiner shows up,
Okay.
it doesn't.
So I do want you to remember, this is all new to us as well. We haven't really been working this remotely like this before, so we are trying to come up with processes that make it easier for you and easier for us. So, you know, we are, and I'll go over some of this other stuff here in a minute, we're trying to make those communications earlier, okay, so that you have time to get stuff, just like we would if we came in. You know, if I came in to do an audit, I was going to have, you know, claims or receipts pulled. I would give you a list and say, here's what I need, but I wouldn't be like, I need it right now. So, you know, there should be some timing. They need to work with you. You have a job that you have to do, and we all understand that. So I will say, as we go through this, and as you've been through an audit, we would like to hear, you know, your pros and your cons with it. So this is an ever-adjusting process. It's new. There's probably going to be a little bit of hiccups along the way, all right? But just give us a little bit of time, and hopefully we can kind of mend that and make it work for both sides. Yeah.
I mean, just,
Okay.
let's just say.
All right. Don't know where I'm at, so I think I'm at Gateway. Okay, just checking the time. Okay. All right. So we're all familiar with Gateway, or at least I hope we are, and it hasn't switched.
Okay, why is it switching?
It is on mine, but it's not on yours.
No, it's not.
Why not? I'm going to go on. I'm sorry. Hopefully you have the presentation in front of you. Hopefully it'll catch up. So let's talk about Gateway. So the State Examiner Directive 2018-1 requires certain documents to be uploaded monthly and annually. So please make sure you are doing this. All right. It will help us in the future to have many of the documents needed for audit ahead of time. These uploads will provide a more efficient and cost-effective audit process. In addition to the monthly and annual uploads, there are additional records that we call direct request uploads that must be uploaded when required by SBOA. And I'm going to show you where this is later on. So if you're in the middle of an audit, sorry, I'm just like trying to make sure I'm where I'm at. Did it move?
It moved on mine, it didn't move up there. Oh, it's gone up there. It did move on mine.
Okay. All right, hold on. Sorry, guys. Looking. Can everybody else see it? Kathy, I will get to that in just a second. So you guys can see the, okay.
Gateway.
I'm not sure what's happening to our screen in front of us, so I apologize. Technology, right? All right. So, again, please make sure that you are doing all of this. It helps. It will help in the future to have many of the documents needed ahead of time. So again, what's required for the county treasurer to upload monthly and annually? So let's take a look. Okay. All right. So monthly uploads. So every month you should be uploading files into Gateway. These files include the monthly bank reconcilement. So bank reconcilement is a document that shows how you balance the bank statement balance to your ledger balance by showing the amount of like outstanding checks, deposits in transit, and any reconciling items. You should upload a bank reconcilement really for each account, okay? So I kind of made a copy of.
I can't see that yet.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Okay, so hopefully that catches up to here. I apologize.
Printed them out. Oh, it's coming back. Maybe. That's so weird.
So anyway, you can upload one document that includes like each bank out. You can do them separately, whichever way kind of works for you. But like bank statements, images of checks, and other information are not required to be uploaded. but may be uploaded if it's easier for you to do so, okay? You also may upload the 47TR, or the County Treasurer's Monthly Report, in addition to your reconcilement. This is not required to be uploaded here. The auditor is still required in statute, okay, to send a copy to us. So if you want to put it up there, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. But what we're really looking for is something like what you kind of see on your screen here, okay? That's what the auditors are going to want when they're in the field, all right, to look at what you've done for each one of the bank accounts. Again, it doesn't have to look like this. This is all, something I just threw together very, very quickly, okay? For perfect counting, because we're all perfect. I'm going to switch it before I go.
Not yet.
I know, but so that's the one thing, is the monthly bank reconcilement. The two, the cash balance report. Really, this is your cash book, okay? So the cash balance report, in this case, again, should be your cash book. More specifically, the last day of the month in which you use to reconcile to the bank. You should include both sides of the cash book, and it should match what was used in the bank reconcilement. I only have room for one side here, so I just include the charges side or the left side here, but the total does agree to the bank reconcilement on the prior slide. All right. We have seen some uploads in this be a summary page that's been uploaded in lieu of this, but it really doesn't provide us audit evidence to be able to support the reconcilement. Okay, so what we really want to see is we really want to see this. All right, we have added the word cash book in parentheses at the end if you go into your monthly uploads. So, with COVID-19 forcing the remote auditing along a little faster, our field examiners, along with others, have started to really take a look at what is being uploaded and what other things could be helpful for future audits. So, there may be some additional uploads that will be required in the future. Not yet, but Lori and I will make sure that communications will be sent out when anything has been decided upon. Right now, we're just kind of surveying to see what could be needed, what's useful, what's not useful, and what kind of changes that maybe need to be made to this, okay? But again, Lori and I will keep you guys up to date if anything changes. Right now, these two items are the only things that are required monthly to be uploaded. It's driving me crazy. It's not catching up.
I know.
Okay, so annual uploads, there's a couple more here that you need to do. So number one, you need to do your year-end bank statement. This is the December bank statement for the units that report on a calendar year, which is you. A bank statement must be uploaded for each bank account. You can upload one document for each one, or you can copy them all together and just do one upload. So it could be one document or multiple documents. Images of checks or other information are not required to be uploaded, but may be uploaded if it's easier for you. The December bank reconcilement is uploaded as part of the monthly upload, so it is not a part of the annual upload. All right, number two is the year-end outstanding checklist. This is a list of checks that you have written and are deducted in your records, but have not cleared the bank as of the end of the year. This is the same as outstanding checks on the December monthly bank reconcilement. This list should show the date of the check number, and the amount. And the third thing is the year-end investment statements. So a statement or documentation that shows the balance of the investment, such as a certificate of deposit, at the end of the year. If you do not have a statement at the end of the year, you may upload documents that show when the investment or CD was purchased and the value at the time it was purchased. All right, these documents are due at the same time as the annual financial report that the auditor submits, which is March 1st. I'm sorry, I'm going to go up a little bit. All right, so here's this direct request that we were talking about a little bit earlier. So any document that you must upload in addition to the monthly and annual uploads is called a direct request upload. All right, so what happens is the field is going to be doing their audit and they're going to realize, you know, I really need this document. They fill out, you can kind of see this little box that I put on the slide. They fill that out to add the request. They should give you detailed instructions of exactly what they're looking for, okay? They'll add that request. That request will then be emailed to the submitter, all right? So when we talk about gateway, the submitter is always the elected official. In this case, it is the treasurer. The treasurer may have delegated editing rights to someone else in the office, a deputy or other employee, all right? And they can go in and they can actually do the uploads, but they will not receive the email, all right? It goes to the submitter. So once you get that, it's going to be kind of like a generic email. That's going to tell you what you need to upload. Once you get that, you'll go into Gateway just like you do your monthly and annual uploads, but now there's a direct request option, and you upload it exactly the same way as you do the others. All right. If you have questions, you can talk to your field examiner. You can call Lori and I. We can walk you through it as well. Once you do it once, it's like, oh, you just have to know where to click, okay? All right, so when you receive the request, it'll come to you via a no reply email. So don't reply to that email. It doesn't go anywhere. Nobody sees it, okay? We just need you to go in here. It's just notifying you. The email will contain the description of the items needed and the specific instructions on how to upload them into the application. These documents do not go on the public site. They are for our use for audit purposes only, all right? So as far as audit documents are concerned, we'll ask you to scan and upload most of your supporting documentation for the audit. And again, these requests are going to come through Gateway. We really don't want records emailed, okay? It's just not as secure as this. This is a very secure platform, so when it goes there, we know that your information is just there, okay? In an email, it's just not secure. If they do ask you for something and you just really don't know what it is, just reach out to them, send them an email, ask for some more details. They'll work with you to get whatever solution that you guys need to have on that and what reports that they need. I will tell you that one of the things that they do say is that if you have a report in Excel, that is their preferred format. All right, if you don't worry about it. If you do, and you have that capability, they would really appreciate that. It's not required, just preferred. I'm hurrying. A couple more slides. All right, so if at any time the document request is too large, in size or quantity, please discuss this with your field examiner. Together, you guys can come up with some sort of solution. One solution could be giving you time to pull those documents and putting them in a separate room, and when the auditor arrives, they can kind of review the documentation on site. The field examiner can also spend part of the day, if you can scan them and send them through the direct request, that's great, but again, work with your field staff. We do ask that if you do get a request for documents that you do acknowledge that request as soon as possible. This doesn't mean that you have to provide it immediately, but it does allow us to know that you have received it and are working on it. Also, if you could give an estimated time frame in which you'll be able to provide the request, it will help us plan our time accordingly too. So in this case, if they ask you for, some sort of report, and you think it's going to take you a week, tell them that. I've got this going on, I can have it for you by such and such time. So, our field examiners also are now receiving multiple assignments, so they can keep busy while you are gathering information. The important thing that we know, we just need to know that you received the request and that you're working on it. Again, if you have trouble getting any documents, work with the field examiners. The other thing that they will need is, if they are going to come in and come on site, they are going to need a secure place to work that's really away from everybody. We are trying to practice social distancing as an agency as well.
I had a question. Can you create a test/training notification for us to run through one time and get us prepared?
I don't know. I would have to ask the person that does Gateway. I know how it works, but I don't operate it on the back end. I can ask that question. I don't know if that's an available option or not. Sorry, I'm writing a note so I don't forget. Okay. I'm running into Lori's time. Okay. So, learning what works, communicating, adjusting, these are all kind of important things moving forward in this new remote environment. I like the way she's working in this picture.
Yeah.
I wish that's how I worked.
I don't have that view.
I don't have that view. I don't have that deck, and I think I need my desk. But as we have begun working remote in the remote environment, it may seem less efficient this way, but as we continue this process, we will find out that what works and what does not, and make improvements as we move forward. Please communicate with us, again, the good and the bad of this process, so that improvements can be made. Or we can explain the need for certain procedures. Otherwise, if you're not telling the field and us, we may not know if something's not working well. And we don't want it to become burdensome for you, for us, anything. Again, we're working to work together to make this an easy process. So adjusting on each side here will help us move forward in a timely fashion. I can tell you with utmost certainty that our field examiners do miss being on site. They enjoy working with you. They look forward to the day when they can be on site again. With the main communication being through email, it's sometimes hard to interpret tone. Emails often come off harsh and demanding, so please don't take it that way. Again, everybody's trying. We all have jobs, and we want to be respectful in every way. So, please, have a little understanding, and we've told our field staff the same thing. Again, if you have a webcam on your computer, we do encourage you to use it. It's a great way to get communicated and to feel a little bit more involved in the audit process. And again, ask your field examiner. They can help you set up those communications. Sorry, I went 7 minutes over. Any other questions?
Nothing has come in.
Okay.
Dun, dun, dun.
I think part